Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. And today we wanted to show some love to one of our favorite players on the Giants and a really big leader and mentor for this defense, Logan Ryan. Arguably the glue. I've kind of trying to figure out what a good name for him, Anthony. And I've come up with one. Let me know what you think of it. It's called the Disguiser because he's always doing something different. He's always trying to keep the opposing offense on their toes. And he always looks like, he's shading one way, shading this way, shading another way, but he always ends up in a different spot. And he's always trying to create confusion for opposing quarterbacks. And he does it so well. We're going to watch a little bit of film in a little bit after we talk about him and what he kind of brought to this defense last year and why he's such an influential part to this team, especially signing a new three-year deal with the Giants. It's really a 2-year deal, not a lot of dead money after the second year, which is a good contract because he is getting a little bit older, but his versatility remains strong. He brought a lot of those secondary pieces down to Tampa this offseason and work with them and his personal trainer to get that chemistry flowing and really prepare for the upcoming 2021 regular season, which is tremendous in my opinion. They missed a lot of OTAs because of this, and Joe Judge and the coaching staff completely knew about it. They were completely fine with it because they see Logan Ryan as an exterior coach in a way. And I'm really excited to dive into what he has to offer because he is such a tremendous piece of this defense, and he continues to show that in multiple different ways, Anthony. But how are you doing today, my friend, and what are you thinking of our guy, Logan Ryan?
I'm doing real good. I'm thinking that you need to make that a working title. Might have to refine that, fix it a little bit. It's okay. I get what you're going for, but I'm not so sold on the disguiser just yet. But I do think that is a good way to describe the way he plays. He does disguise himself a lot. Well, Patrick Graham disguises the defense a lot, and a lot of that revolves around Logan Ryan. Of course, having a veteran like Logan Ryan on the back end was a huge get for the Giants last offseason after Xavier McKinney went down for injury because it allowed them to be really creative defensively. It allowed them to trust in their free safety to go out there, disguise a coverage, and play it well. Not get confused by the disguise coverage, but to command the disguise coverage and tell everyone where to be and what to do and to execute. And that's what Logan Ryan did. So when you talk about him being versatile, disguising his coverage looks, of course, that's Patrick Graham who's calling the defensive plays, but he's able to call so many disguise coverages because of Logan Ryan because he is such a high IQ veteran football player who has the ability to do all of this. And this was only his first season as a free safety. That's one of the number one things that I think you have to mention when you talk about Logan Ryan in 2020. It was his first full season playing free safety. He did a little bit of it in 2019 with the Titans, but not really. And in his first season as a safety, Logan Ryan was phenomenal. Like, he stepped into that role, brand new role for him. He's been in the NFL for however many years, and he's always been playing slot corner and sometimes out wide. Now he steps into this free safety role, and he excels. He was honestly top 20 safety in the NFL. I think that's fair to say. He was pretty damn good this past year, and he really was a glue that held the Giants defense together on the back end. So you can't be, you got to be really impressed with everything that Logan Ryan said. There's not enough that you could say. Like, he was just phenomenal in his first season as a free safety. And I do think that this next season, when Xavier McKinney is healthy and Jabril Peppers is now, still there, Logan Ryan's still there, I think that three-headed monster is going to be lethal. And I think that those two young guys, and Peppers and McKinney, they're still going to have their, young hiccups, right? They're young players. But the glue that holds that together with that safety trio is going to be Logan Ryan as he holds the rest of the defense together. So I'm excited to see what he does in his second season with the Giants, and also excited to review this film on his first season with the Giants.
Yeah, and I see kind of Logan Ryan like fine wine, right? He aged better than a lot of players did. And I think that kind of was a direct result of this new 3-year deal. Just him adapting to a new position, a new way to maximize his skills now, right? Because he doesn't have the athleticism maybe he did a couple of years ago when he was one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. And he was, kind of shifting to the slot, shifting to the outside. He could do a lot of different things. The Giants were like, no. We want to move you back to free safety, and we want you to kind of be this versatile piece that can fill and plug multiple roles for us. And he did just that, right? He played, and you'll see in the film, he plays the run exceptionally well. The guy does not miss tackles. He's an extremely intelligent player when it comes to pre-snap and post-snap diagnosis of plays. He does not get fooled very often. In fact, he's doing majority of the fooling, which is why I named him the Disguiser, because quarterbacks are looking at him in the secondary and they're like, where is he going? Is he dropping deep? Is he coming forward? And also the communication factor he has with his teammates is very, very good. You'll see one play, him and Jabril Peppers are side by side, kind of in the deeper portion of the field at safety. And Jabril Peppers, rather, Logan Ryan is playing more of a free safety role. Jabril Peppers is playing a strong safety role. They communicate. Jabril Peppers tells him to move down into the box, and he shades deep. It's a weak side sweep play. It's a running play, and Logan Ryan makes a really phenomenal play and sealing the edge and moving up and, mitigating any big plays to get to the second level. You'll see that in the film review. But I'll tell you what, when I'm watching him, I think that he's a playmaker for this defense, right? He comes up clutch a couple times. He forces a fumble against Cincinnati. He creates an interception against Washington to seal the game. He comes up big in big moments, and that's what you want from those veteran players. He's very smart. He shades very nicely in the middle of the field to bait quarterbacks into making mistakes. And, he was a proponent for turnovers this past season, and I think the defense is better with him there. Well, far better with him there. Adding Xavier McKinney to the mix, adding Adoree Jackson to the mix is going to make him even better. That trickle-down effect works both ways. It makes your better players even better, and it makes your worst players even better. So that's kind of how I view Logan Ryan, especially because he's a big benefactor in terms of being kind of a scout and somebody that brings in other guys. We know he sees Adoree Jackson as like a little brother. He went down to Florida and recruited Adoree Jackson to the Giants and really helped them solidify that CB2 spot. Without him, who knows if Adoree Jackson, maybe he ends up with Philadelphia because he had a meeting scheduled with them. Instead, he was like, screw that. I'm signing with the Giants. Logan Ryan's got me sold. That's my little brother. So I think that means a lot too. He played a big role as someone to bring in other talent, but he also already proved to us that he is a great talent himself. And considering what the Giants had to deal with last year in terms of COVID, not being able to practice in person, all these different factors that were working against them, Logan Ryan rose above all of them and helped that team come together. He was one of the biggest catalysts. He was a glue between those defensive secondary pieces. And I think he made James Bradbury a lot better, and he really helped that secondary come together. So I'm really excited, Anthony, to dive into the film. And do you have any last words before we dive into it?
Yeah, I'll just mention, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Logan Ryan is such a phenomenal leader on and off the field. Alex just kind of hinted at it as well with the recruiting that he was doing. And he didn't have a captain's patch this last season, but I suspect that he'll have one this year because he really did prove himself to take command of that locker, take a lot of these young guys under his wing, really help them, get them up to speed with the NFL game. And he's just done a phenomenal job ever since he got here. And he clearly loves being a New York Giant. He did sign that extension. And every time he talks about being a New York Giant, you can just hear the love and passion that he has for the organization in his voice. And that's one of the reasons that fans have started to love Logan Ryan so much, because when you can feel the love gets reciprocated. And that's Logan Ryan right now. So, I'm excited to dive into this film. So I guess let's just get to it.
Yeah, this is no Antoine Bethea situation, my friends. Antoine Bethea back in the day trying to help DeAndre Baker. We know how that went. And now you have a guy like Logan Ryan who really knows how to get it done as a great player and as a coach. But I think more so he leads by example, right? He leads by example with his great play. And I think he's like the quarterback of the defense when you look at the offense. Daniel Jones, Eli Manning, a couple years ago, we know they led by example. They weren't big talkers. They did what they got to do. They worked hard. They performed well, and everybody fell into line because of it. I think Logan Ryan has that similar stature about him, and I'm excited to look at the first clip here. So right off the bat, this is the play I was talking about before, right? You'll see in the deep portions of the field here, Jabril Peppers and Logan Ryan are side by side in this cover two kind of look. And Jabril Peppers notices this is going to be a sweep play. Just basically watching film, they know what's happening here. He notices this is going to be a weak side sweep to the running back, and he tells Logan Ryan to step up so we can seal that edge. And you'll see that unfolds right here. So, of course, Logan Ryan moves up, and he notices, of course, he doesn't have to drop into the secondary. He knows this is a run. The second this is pitched, he's always watching the quarterback, right? Logan Ryan always has his eyes on the quarterback. Very smart player. When he trusts his instincts, he's going to make a good play, right? Because he never second guesses. He does not hesitate. When he sees something, he reacts, and he gets it right 99% of the time. And here you're going to see him run up, seal the edge, and make a phenomenal tackle on the running back here. He does not miss tackles very often either. The guy is a tremendous tackler.
Yeah, I mean, this is textbook. The tackle angle that he takes, the pursuit angle was absolutely perfect. Of course, as you mentioned, Peppers kind of calls us out to him. He does read this play really well, and he gets himself right into position pre-snap to make this play. But just the tackle angle that he takes, he goes right around the edge and seals the edge. And then, of course, his form on the tackle is textbook. Like, he just breaks down and he makes his tackle. Everything about this is exactly what you want to see from your free safety. Like, it's done just so well. And I believe this was only the third week of the season. And again, this is his first year playing free safety, and he's already this damn good at it. I mean, that's just insane to me that, his third week playing this position, and look at a play like this. This is a veteran free safety play. And, that's just super, super impressive the way he's able to read this pre-snap, get in position post-snap, and make a textbook tackle.
Yeah, I mean Logan Ryan here. I mean he does not mess up very often. It's nice to see that consistency he brings to this defense. We'll move on to the next play here. And I wanted to showcase the first couple plays here for those listening via audio. I wanted to show a couple back-to-back different plays of him moving up and stopping the run, and then also adequate in passing game and really making some nice plays because I wanted to show that versatility he offers as a cornerback, as a safety, as a strong safety, free safety, as a slot guy. And here you'll see he's on the 2 receiver on the outside, kind of a Z here. But I'll tell you what, he's up against Jordan Reed. This is one of the best pass-catching tight ends, big body, big frame. In man coverage, you expect Jordan Reed to make big plays, and he usually does. And Logan Ryan here is on him like white on rice, and he follows him downfield, and he's in perfect position to create a pass breakup. He gets his hands there, and he doesn't even have to turn his head because he watches the eyes of Jordan Reed here. You'll see it from the all-22 angle if you're watching on YouTube. He just watches these eyes. He watches his hands go up, and he just puts his hands right in between that chest plate and creates a nice play. Guys like Jordan Reed don't drop the ball very often in man coverage, especially on a nice pass. This is an adequate pass, a very catchable ball. And I'll tell you what, Logan Ryan just makes a great play, and he gets his hands in there and creates a pass breakup. And that's what he's so good at, the versatility of being able to run up, seal the edge, stop the run as a free safety, strong safety, but also man up as a cornerback and make plays against bigger bodies like Jordan Reed.
Yeah, I mean, that was perfect coverage. They're trying to run this slot fade with Jordan Reed downfield, and it's man coverage. So man to man, you got to stay on tight, and you got to, prevent this from being one of those 50-50 balls that leans in favor of the offense, right? We saw Daniel Jones do a lot of that this past season when he did have these slot fades and these one-on-one coverages. He would throw these really good passes, but of course the receivers were also positioning themselves in a way to where he could throw them open. But right here, Jordan Reed can't do that. Logan Ryan's coverage is just way too good. And I think this is where you bring in the fact that he is a former slot cornerback, a former out wide cornerback even. He is a corner. So his man coverage skills are greater than that of your average free safety. Like, this is perfectly done. This looks like a cornerback playing this rep, and that's ultimately what it is. So when you have Logan Ryan on the field, you can move him all over the place. He can be the disguiser. He can be your versatile guy because he's got the experience playing both positions. You can put him down, make him play some corner, make him play some free safety deep in the field, and just have him do all these different things because he has such a wide array of skills from his long career in the NFL. And this, like I said, is just perfect man coverage. Can't really do it any better than this, and forces the incompletion. Great play.
Yeah, I mean, just the technique here is textbook. If you're a young football player and you're a cornerback and you don't want to be Eli Apple and never knowing what to do and having to turn your head around and like getting lost in transition, this is how it's done. You see Logan Ryan right here looking up at Jordan Reed, watching his eyes, making sure he's in the right place at the right time to make a play here. And it's phenomenal. He puts that arm right between his outstretched arms. That way, even if he does haul this catch and even if he does catch this pass, there's no way he can haul this back into his body without Logan Ryan's arm being in there to dislodge it, right? He can crank that arm back, dislodge the football. He has all the leverage in this situation as a cornerback. Just textbook here for you guys that might be a secondary member on a team.
Yeah, perfect job just sitting down on that hook zone. He's actually in the box here playing more of that strong safety role that you're accustomed to seeing Jabril Peppers play. I wonder if Jabril Peppers was maybe banged up on this play because he's not even on the field. Deep at free safety, you have Julian Love playing. So I wonder if this was maybe a play where Peppers was banged up for a second, had to come out for some sort of injury, because you do have Logan Ryan basically playing Jabril Peppers' role right here, playing that weak side linebacker position almost, playing that money backer role. As he kind of just sits there in that hook zone. He reads it really well. As Alex mentions, he's so good at reading the quarterback's eyes. You could see him do that from this hook zone. Just read the quarterback, drop back into this coverage, get his finger on the ball, and force an incompletion. It's perfectly done, playing basically linebacker. So, again, we just saw him play some safety with the first clip. Then we saw him play some slot corner pretty much. And now you're seeing him basically play some linebacker. So you're talking about all three levels of the defense. Logan Ryan can get it done.
That is a fact. He can get it done. Let's move on to the next play over here. Okay. I think this is the same play, all 22 look. All right, little pre-snap. They know it's not man coverage. They're playing zone here. Yep. I mean, Logan Ryan just makes a nice play. That could be a reception. That could be a reception if he doesn't make that play. Isaac Yadam's diving in front, but we know Isaac Yadam misses more than he connects. So Logan Ryan doesn't do that. But here you have the run. So a similar looking play, a little bit more of a tight end action on this play. But you'll see Logan Ryan kind of shading back into zone coverage, and it's a nice play that he steps up against the run. He notices this outside here. Once he diagnoses that the running back has the ball, he sees that gap on the outside, right around the edge. So if he breaks through, if that running back gets around that edge right there, you never know. If he breaks that tackle, I think it might be Blake Martinez right there. If he breaks that tackle, who knows? Maybe he breaks away for a nice run. But Logan Ryan forces him to cut back more inside, parallel to the field. And I think, seeing Logan Ryan, and he's looking at these plays and he's seeing these gaps open up for the running back to expose, to take advantage of, and he just fills them really, really nicely. He forces running backs to make alternative decisions, and I think that's really what he brings to the table is that, the adequacy and the pass protection, but also stepping up against the run and filling those gaps that could represent opportunities for them to burst through to the second level, and even, get a couple more yards, 10, 15 yards, who knows? They could take it against a better running back like a Saquon Barkley type of back or Derrick Henry type of back. You never know. They could take this to the house. So it's a nice play for him to step up and fill that gap on the outside.
For sure. And he is the last line of defense. He is the safety. So if this tackle is broken as the last line of defense, more often than not, you're looking at 20-plus yard gain from the running back. That's kind of how it goes when you're playing that safety position. But again, you're seeing him just shoot down and fill this gap, as Alex is mentioning. But I just love his pursuit speed. His tackling angle is perfect, like we saw in that first running play that we watched earlier. But then just how quickly he gets down behind the line of scrimmage and just shoots down and makes his tackle is really, really impressive. The pursuit speed is just so top notch. He hits that second gear and just flies down there and makes a really, really clutch tackle because, as Alex mentioned, this could have been a much larger gain if this tackle wasn't made. There was definitely a crease towards the sideline that this running back could have hit and turned upfield. But really, really job well done. The defensive front, you also have to take a look at. The Giants' defensive front did an excellent job forcing the running back to bounce outside. And then, of course, it's just up to the free safety to be in position to make this play and seal that edge because all of the interior men, look at Dexter Lawrence. Every time we do a film breakdown on anybody on the defense, Dexter Lawrence just pops off the film. You just see him disrupting plays left and right. And that's another instance of that, forcing this running back outside. Then it's up to Logan Ryan, do your job, be in position, and make this tackle. And he does exactly that.
Yeah, and please, for goodness sake, do not let Devontae Downs start another game for the Giants next year. The guy cannot get off blocks, right? If Logan Ryan isn't there to clean this up, Devontae Downs is letting this guy get right by him, and this is going to be a big play. You know what I mean? Like, you'll see him on the edge here. He's fighting against the tight end. The running back literally just scoots right around him. He's not going to tackle him, right? If Logan Ryan is not there, he cuts this right upfield. That's a big play. Logan Ryan is just so good at identifying this, and he does not let him get away. He fills that gap perfectly, and it's over right there. But otherwise, if Logan Ryan's not there and Devontae Downs, there's no way he's getting him. I just don't want to see him on the field anymore.
Is Devontae Downs still on the roster? I think they might have cut him.
He is. No. He's still there. But they could easily cut him after.
They really should. But, we have talked about this. I think we did in the last video about their lack of depth on the inside linebacker position. But they could do better than Devontae Downs. Believe me, they absolutely can.
Yeah, no question about that. And here we have a little screen pass from Jared Goff in the Rams game. So there's a screen pass from Jared Goff to Robert Woods, and they get a lot of blockers out in front of Robert Woods. There's maybe 3-4 offensive linemen, a tight end maybe. And I'll tell you what, Logan Ryan identifies this. He scoots around all of the blocks and makes a great play in the backfield here. You'll see Robert Woods cuts back outside because it's kind of getting flushed in the interior, and he makes a great play to stop this in its tracks. You'll see Logan Ryan coming in from this kind of free safety spot deep near the end zone on the bottom right of your screen, and he jumps up. He sees the blocks coming in, and he instead of cutting inside, he just darts right past him, that flying offensive lineman at his legs, and he makes a great stop, and he does not miss the tackle, right? Robert Woods is a good receiver. He's kind of shifty. Does not let him get away, makes a stop for a loss, and that's what Joe Judge loves. Football's a game of inches, not letting him get that extra yard, not letting him get any yards at all, not even an inch, could result in a field goal instead of a touchdown. That's the difference between winning and losing at times.
Yeah, and again, I'm taking away from this something that I took away earlier. Logan Ryan is a textbook tackler. Like, he is so good tackling. Like, his form is just perfect. The way he just goes right at those knees, keeps his head up and just makes this play. Like, He's a textbook tackler, and I have to assume that his missed tackle rate had to be really low this past season. I'm going to check that in just a second here. But again, what I love on this play, his pursuit angle, his tackling form, it's showing up play after play. You see here when he's pursuing, he does kind of start to pursue towards the inside because it looks like Robert Woods might cut that way, but he doesn't over pursue. So when Robert Woods cuts the other way, he's able to recover and then get in front of him and make the tackle there as well. So just perfect pursuit angle and a textbook tackle by Logan Ryan.
Yep. And you know what? As the season got latter to the latter portions, the middle of the season, latter portion of the season, Logan Ryan started to get better, right? And that's what you want to see from your players. They get better as the season progresses. They start to understand the scheme more. And that's kind of what happened to Logan Ryan. He started to create some turnovers. And he had a big one against Washington here. You'll see him in the middle of the field, right on the NFL logo. For those that are listening on audio, he kind of is sitting in the middle of the field here. He's just disguising. He's just sitting there waiting for Alex Smith to make a throw. And Washington has a kind of a deep in route for Terry McLaurin, I think it is. And I'll tell you what, he just kind of sits down in the middle of the field, and Logan Ryan just kind of hiding in the NFL logo, like kind of actually pretty nice. That's why I call him the disguiser, because he has the same colors as the NFL logo. So it's totally possible Alex Smith just didn't even see him, because it's like this white, red, and blue, and he's standing in the middle of the field. I didn't even see him at first, and I was like, oh crap, he's actually right there. Totally possible that Alex Smith didn't even see him. And then bam, he steps right in front of the throw, creates a turnover, and the Giants win this game because of it. I think this is the fourth quarter play for Logan Ryan. And, that's what you want from your experienced players. He knows, he's probably been watching film. He knows he likes to run this play. He just kind of shades to the middle of the field, steps in front of this throw, creates a turnover. And that's a game-winning play right there. And that's what you want from your veterans, making these types of plays, leading the defense, creating that energizing play for the future and gaining some momentum. And I think these momentous plays really helped the Giants kind of capitalize and grow as the season went on. And we know the defense really was the catalyst behind this team entirely. And these are the type of plays that really help them progress and really take steps forward, as the season went on.
Yeah, and the Giants here playing a little dime package. Basically, what the coverage is here, and this is executed perfectly by Logan Ryan, is a cover 2 invert. So it's going to look like cover 3 pre-snap and even for a little bit post-snap. But then that cornerback and the other safety are going to drop back into those deep halves where the free safety and strong safety typically would be. And then what's going to happen is the free safety is just going to drop down into the middle of the field. So it's basically like a Tampa 2 defense, but there's a deeper safety right in the middle because you have that 6th defensive back on the field in the dime package. And Logan Ryan plays it to a T. He disguises his coverage really well, jumps into that middle zone and just intercepts it. It's perfectly done. And I love to see here Patrick Graham's disguise defenses. This is a really good example of it.
Yep, Patrick Graham loves to disguise his defenses. It's incredible to me how much he installed with so little time. That's why the veterans like Logan Ryan played such an influential part and were so impactful, because they acted as like secondary coaches to help those youngsters that didn't maybe not understand the scheme yet, like Xavier McKinney in the second half of the year, Isaac Yiadom, who came in right before regular season started as a 3rd round pick from Denver a couple years ago. The Giants gave up a 7th rounder for him. But Logan Ryan acting as more than just a player, but also kind of a facilitator, a coach in this scenario as well. So he was really good at communicating on the field what the Giants were having to do. So here, another really nice play. This might have been inadvertent, but Logan Ryan, the guy is fearless, right? When you have a guy like him, kind of traditional cornerback, sometimes those cornerbacks don't like to step up and play the run that much. But here, the running back gets away. He's running up the sideline. Logan Ryan spears this man like a freaking harpoon, like one of Leonard Williams' spear fishes. And he nails him and creates a fumble, and the Giants get the ball. And these are the momentum changers for games, right? And you'll see it from another angle. He goes in there and with his shoulder, leading with his shoulder, so it's a clean hit. And this is just a wild play to watch on film. Just so much going on. But Logan Ryan makes this happen. He creates this turnover, and you can see Antonio Gibson at the bottom of the screen. Not only does he look hurt, but he looks like really angry. Look at him. You see him? Anthony, you see him right there at the bottom of the screen? He's pissed, and then he's holding his elbow like, damn, he just nailed me.
Yeah, he does look a little injured there. I probably would be grimacing in pain as well if Logan Ryan spearheaded my elbow the way that he does on this play. It almost looks like Logan Ryan's going to get injured here and get concussed. Maybe he was and he just kept playing. I don't know. But he just kind of bounces into Antonio Gibson, forces his fumble. And of course, this is like the most ridiculously wild fumble recovery that I've ever seen. There had to be like 8 people get their hands on that football before finally the Giants recovered it. But yeah, man, I mean, Alex's analysis was perfect. The way that Logan Ryan goes in there, spearheads that ball, and the way he pursues it and just goes for the football was super impressive. And you're going to see him do a similar thing again on this final play.
Yep, and this is one of my favorite plays of the season for Logan Ryan because not only is it another turnover, he forces a fumble here, but it's very much purposeful, and it came at a big point in the game where the Giants were kind of close with Cincinnati at the end of this game. They had another opportunity, and he creates this turnover, gives the Giants red zone field position. No, the Giants weren't very good in the red zone this year, but this upcoming season, hopefully they improve. But Logan Ryan, I think it's a pass to Sample, the tight end on the 89 on the outside on the right. And you'll see he gets there, and Sample doesn't see him because Logan Ryan's kind of hiding behind him. The linebacker gets there, and Logan Ryan just freaking swings that arm around. The tight end does not see him there, and he just pops this ball loose, and he gets the recovery. So, that's a nice little play from Logan Ryan. That's a game changer inside the 20-yard line. And I'll tell you what, talk about changing momentums. That's how it's done. Logan Ryan is a momentum changer, and he's a disguiser, and he does, you could give him a variety of names. He's like an all-in-one kind of utility superhero for the Giants. So I kind of like...
He was a playmaker because this was a play made by him.
Yeah, I mean, this is him. This is entirely him making this play. And I think it might have been Kyler Fackrell that was there as well. I'm not entirely sure.
I think that's Nico Lalos. This was
Nico Lalos. 57? 57?
Yeah, I believe that was Nico Lalos.
Okay, yeah. So Nico Lalos and Logan Ryan, the playmaker, comes up, makes a huge play for his Giants team. And these are the wins the Giants got to grind out. He's going to make more plays like this next season as, they kind of attempt to install this next level of defense, which will probably be more, man coverage based. So I'm excited to see how they transition to this and how it affects Logan Ryan's role. But I think it'll be similar. I think he's going to be playing a lot of free safety. I think he's going to be playing a lot against the run. He's going to be moving up, playing a lot of spy in that free safety role. And it's going to be fun to watch. I think Xavier McKinney, that's, pairing the Xavier McKinney and Logan Ryan in this man coverage scheme. I'm very, very curious to see how this unfolds, Anthony. Maybe Jabril Peppers kind of moves up into a more of a linebacker role alongside Blake Martinez, because I don't know how they're going to get all these guys on the field if they're not playing zone coverage a lot. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how they use these 3 guys.
Well, Peppers did play a lot of money backer last year. He was in the box more often than not. He played a lot of weak side linebacker as well. And the Giants 3-3-5 odd scheme, which I do believe is going to be their base defense this upcoming season. I think you're going to see them run a lot of 3-3-5, which I think you're seeing them run on this play as well. That 3-3-5 odd is just really beneficial because you do kind of get Jabril Peppers in there as a linebacker, and he's able to do so much as you see him blitzing on this play, pressuring the quarterback and kind of making this inaccurate throw and then leading towards Logan Ryan's interception. So I think you're going to see him play a lot of linebacker, and you're also going to see a lot of deep safety from Logan Ryan, from Julian Love, and from Xavier McKinney. They're all going to be out there. Julian Love is kind of your defensive back. He's kind of, you can put him just wherever. But basically what I see, you're going to see a lot of linebacker from Peppers. You're going to see strong safety from McKinney, and you're going to see free safety from Logan Ryan. That's going to be your ideal way of getting those 3 guys on the field, and that's what I think is going to happen most frequently, especially if the Giants are going to be playing a lot of 3-3-5 like they have this past season. And I think that they're going to play it even more this upcoming season because their personnel is just built for a 3-3-5 scheme, and that's going to be a lot of nickel. They have a lot of great defensive backs out there, and you're going to see those defensive backs get on the field frequently.
Yeah, I mean, talk about defensive backs. The Giants have so many, and that's kind of like what I'm most excited to see, because 2 years ago, we had little to none. We had Janoris Jenkins, and behind him, DeAndre Baker and Swan Bethea. Of course, we had Julian Love, but these starters now, wow, like what a freaking transition to James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers, Xavier McKinney, even Julian Love, love him too, pun intended. Everything about this secondary is just so much better, so much improved. And I know you guys are all as excited as we are, because the potential for this defense is sky high. We have a whole bunch of new pass rushers in Ellerson Smith, who, by the way, works out more than anyone I've ever freaking seen. He posts videos every single day of him working out that day. And the guy is training his ass off, and he wants it, man. I'll tell you what, that guy, Ellerson Smith, do not sleep on him. I see him training his butt off, and I think he's going to have a good impact in his first year, if not a very nice second season in the NFL, at least as a rotational piece to start his career. So this team, they bolstered all their weak points, right? The only player they lost was Dalvin Tomlinson, if not for a couple of reserve guys. That was the big piece, but they replaced him with Danny Shelton, a big body who soaks up double teams. I am ecstatic to see this defense take another step forward. Logan Ryan being a catalyst in that scheme, and really being a nice leader and recruiter and playing a variety of different roles. He has a lot of different hats he puts on for this squad, and I'm really excited to see what he can do this upcoming season with a revised and bolstered defense, my friends. But thank you so much for tuning into Fireside Giants. As always, checking out Logan Ryan with us on this beautiful Wednesday. Really hot day in New York, so make sure you're hydrating. But we have the weekend coming up, July 4th. Really exciting stuff. Hopefully it's nice weather. You guys are spending time with family. I know I will be. So it's going to be a good time, but make sure to subscribe below on YouTube. Make sure to turn those notifications on Apple and Spotify, my friends, and sign up to our membership program. Anthony's posting awesome Tony takes for the members out here with awesome statistical analysis and so much more. He's actually beating people down that talks poorly about Joe Judge with his gavel. So if you want to see that on live television, imagine that would be absolutely insane, but it's really great stuff. You don't want to miss it. I promise you on that. So make sure to sign up to a membership. It really helps us grow and fund the future of this channel as well. So thank you so much, guys. And we'll catch you guys on the next video.